Hello, security pros, and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on today's ESA webinar, Take Advantage of Elevator Industry Trends to Grow RMR. During this webinar, Kings 3 Emergency Communications expert Tom Worthington will give you an inside look at the technology trends for emergency elevator communications and how those trends are creating a massive market opportunity for dealers with the ambition to grow their RMR through emergency phone monitoring. I'm Hannah Boone, ESA's Marketing and Communications Manager, and I'm excited to lead this webinar today. Before we dive in, I'd like to provide some tips for those of you joining us on your first ESA webinar. Welcome. You'll be muted for the duration of this session, but that doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. If a question or comment comes to mind at any point during today's session, click on the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen, and I'll ensure we save some time for your questions with our expert today. We will also be recording this webinar, so you can rewatch the on-demand session and share it with your colleagues. Tomorrow, you will receive an email thanking you for your attendance today, and with the link to the recording. If your company is a member of ESA, we thank you and hope you're utilizing your benefits to save, expand your team, and get connected to the ESA community. If you're not yet a member of the Electronic Security Association, check us out. ESA is the largest and longest standing association serving the pro-installed electronic security and life safety industry. Our members are integrators, dealers, monitoring centers, and even manufacturers and service providers in the space. You'd be surprised at the power an ESA membership holds for your company. Get a feel for all ESA benefits, including savings on business insurance, training, customized in-house onboarding and professional development programs, peer networking groups, government advocacy programs, certifications that satisfy state licensing, and in some cases are also alternatives to NICET at esaweb.org. One of our membership specialists would be happy to walk you through these benefits and the application process. We at ESA realize that your time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending some of that time with us today. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Tom Worthington. He is currently the director of the dealer program at Kings 3 Emergency Communications, and he was previously the founder and owner of ESRM Communications. His background includes being a certified elevator mechanic and electrician in the state of Florida, and currently sits on the ASME A17 code committee that writes elevator communication code, making him a source of expertise for anything code related in the elevator communication space. Tom has extensive knowledge of the trends in the market and varying products and services that exist within the marketplace. So without further ado, Tom, you can take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Hannah. All right, thank you very much. My name's Tom Worthington. We're going to be going over elevator phone monitoring and really digging into some business opportunities. And we're really going to dig into the trending away from POTS lines that's going on inside the elevator industry currently. Just to give you a quick background, like Hannah said, I'm the director of dealer sales here at Kings 3. I'm also part of the ASME A17 Emergency Operations Committee. That is the ASME code is what the elevator code goes off of, and we help shape the code specifically for emergency communications. So within the elevator phone world, I am considered one of the experts and really know the elevator code inside and out on commercial elevators. I'm also a licensed elevator technician and come from the elevator industry. And there's my contact information. So I've been with Kings 3 for about 3 years now in the dealer program. And really what this presentation is about, we're really going to do an overview of the current state of the elevator industry, its growth, and the telecom trends affecting integrators and fire and security companies like yourselves. We're also going to go over how the elevator code requirements impact the growing elevator communication market. There's a lot of new codes that have come onto the ASME code has radically changed recently. So we're going to go over some of those big changes that incorporate video and even messaging, but we're also going to go over the code requirements that have been in place for years that require two-way emergency communications. We're also going to go into, what solutions are viable to satisfy the market demand. So we're really going to dig into the different solutions out there that different companies are using to use as a communication path to and from the elevator. And we're really going to go over how Kings 3 can help integrators take advantage of industry trends to generate RMR growth. Really, that's what we're going to dig into. There's just such a tremendous business opportunity to get new customers, to get increased revenue, and to really get RMR off of the elevator phone by transitioning from POTS lines to cellular. So just to go over some stuff about elevators, some of you may be very aware of the elevator industry within the United States, and some of you may not fully understand just how big it is and what the total addressable market is. So we're just going to go over some stats here. The elevator market growth is happening worldwide, with North America making up roughly 8% of all new installed elevators. So in 2010, there was an estimated 10.5 million elevators worldwide, 900,000 of which were in North America. And 10 years later, in 2020, there's an estimated 18.5 million elevators worldwide, with roughly 1.1 million in North America. So we've roughly done about 200,000 new elevators within the last 10 years. New construction has slowed down during the pandemic, but we're seeing it pick back up within the elevator industry. And before the COVID pandemic, new construction was ramping up pretty good as well. But the point to hammer home here is that every year there's more and more elevators going in within the United States, and the code is getting stricter and stricter. And every elevator that goes in has to have an emergency phone, and pretty much every emergency phone inside an elevator needs to have either a POTS line or some other communications path. And in this case, we're really trying to make the case for cellular being that communications path. Just to go over just how reliant people are on elevators every day, and just how many trips the average person does make in an elevator. The average elevator carries 20,000 people per year. That's 80 people a day times 250 business days. Combined elevators in the US make an estimated 20.8 billion passenger trips per year. So that's every one of those 20 billion trips is a potential for that elevator getting stuck, and there being a passenger stuck in that elevator that needs the elevator phone. So the Kings 3 data that we have, we estimate there's roughly 325,000 elevator entrapments per year. And each one of those is usually a case where they're going to use that emergency phone. And making sure that emergency phone goes to the operator and is answered correctly, and that there's a open communications path is vital, not only for the passenger that's stuck, but also the liability involved with the owner of the building. So the vast majority of elevator companies do not provide telecom or monitoring services. So there's not a lot of elevator companies out there providing cellular solutions right now. And the data that we have at Kings 3 estimates that 90% of elevator phones are still on POTS lines. So that just kind of gives you a sense of just how much of an opportunity is out there to convert these elevator phones from POTS to a code compliant cellular solution. I think a lot of you watching this video are coming from the fire and security space, so just keep that in mind. The fire and security space is so much further ahead in the conversion of fire panels, for instance, on the commercial side, from POTS lines to either radio mesh or cellular. On the elevator side, because there's just a lack of supply, because a lot of elevator companies don't provide this service, there's just so many elevator phones that are still connected to POTS lines. So it's something to definitely think about. Just to give you a quick rundown, and background of what the actual elevator code requires currently. We'll go over the ASME A17.1 code requirements. This is for, basically for commercial elevator phones. So on most commercial elevators nowadays, you're going to have a requirement for a hands-free phone. So that's a phone with a push button, braille, and lights. Pretty much what you're used to seeing. And that emergency phone, in most cases, must be answered 24/7 by live authorized personnel. In most cases, live authorized personnel will be a call center or an operator, somebody that can take appropriate action. The code's pretty specific about not having automated answering, and that the call must also be answered within 45 seconds. One of the other big requirements is that the operator that answers the emergency call must be able to identify the location of the elevator without voice communication. So that, just in case the passenger cannot speak, whether they're incapacitated or cannot speak English, or maybe they have the inability to speak, that operator must know that it is elevator number 3 at 123 Main Street, so that they can dispatch fire rescue or the elevator company to rescue the passenger. Usually there's a minimum of 4 hours talk time battery backup. That would apply to not only the phone in the elevator, but any communication device that's in line. So if you are using cellular or any other voice over IP or communication system, that must also have 4-hour battery backup. Anything with the 2010 code and above, the ASME 2010 code requires a local alarm to alert passengers that the phone is not working. That's a new code requirement that's adopted in most states. It's been around for about 10 to 12 years now. And it's just a supervision panel that will be in the hallway on the main floor of egress that will buzz and flash when the phone line has failed. So just something to think about. That is the first introduction of any kind of supervision into the elevator phone code. It is only local, but any kind of communication system or phone line or cellular or voice over IP device that you're hooking up to an elevator phone must be able to also trigger that alarm. So that's something that Kings 3 that we make sure all of our emergency phone equipment is able to trigger that supervision panel. And all of our cellular equipment, once we're not on the cellular network, or there's any kind of failure with our battery or antenna or a removal of the SIM card, we will trigger that local alarm to alert passengers that the elevator phone is not working. I did mention before, there's some big code changes that have come up. So there is the new ASME 2019 code changes. This is the most radical change that we've had in the elevator phone code in probably 20 years, and it introduces video and two-way text messaging requirements. This code is brand new, and this only applies in maybe 7 or 8 states right now have adopted it, and it only applies to new construction and mods. But just to keep in mind that this code is coming, and it just reinforces that the code continues to get it continues to evolve. And now that we have new technology like video and two-way text messaging, that has been rolled into the requirements for elevator phones. I think fire and security companies are very used to having video as part of their alarm, video verification. And that's kind of the same idea. The video is to verify that there's indeed a trapped passenger, and to minimize false alarms and to minimize false dispatches. And that's really what that code does. In addition to elevator emergency phones, many states also required emergency two-way communications for swimming pools and area of refuge. These are also emergency phones that usually must be answered by authorized personnel. So at Kings 3, for instance, we, not even outside of elevator phones, in many states, we do a lot of swimming pool phones. where it's code required. And also now area of rescue is becoming much more widespread. The use of cellular communications, cellular technology is also used for swimming pools and area of rescue. So those are both also adopting cellular technology, and many of the integrators out there are also using our cellular solutions for those swimming pool and area rescue phones. So, so currently out there, these, when we talk about each elevator having a requirement for having an elevator phone, that phone is ultimately connected to a phone line or some sort of communication solution. So right now, still by far the most common is just a traditional POTS line. In fact, most elevator companies are still telling customers that they have to provide a POTS line. Very little elevator companies have cellular or voice over IP solutions that they provide themselves. Outside of POTS lines, voice over IP or other internet-based solutions are out there. We're going to go over some weaknesses on voice over IP and then also cellular. And really at Kings 3, we really believe in cellular technology as being the technology that's not only winning now, but also going to be the technology of the future. And we're going to go over a lot of the reasons why cellular is not only the best solution, but also can easily scale. So I think a lot of the fire and security companies out there are very aware of POTS lines going away, getting more expensive, and just being less reliable. But we are trending away from POTS, and why not continue to use traditional phone lines? Well, although they have been around since the 1880s, I think everyone's aware that new technologies are out there delivering reliability at cheaper costs, and basically making the POTS lines and analog lines obsolete. So a lot of people are aware of the FCC order 19-72A1 that was in August 2019 to accelerate investment in broadband and next generation networks. And this ultimately removed the maintenance obligation from providers supplying analog lines, and now large telecom companies are no longer supporting or training on the old technology. Ultimately, the cost of traditional phone lines are going up, and phone companies are transitioning away from servicing, maintaining, and keeping up that POTS network. Ever since 2007, 2008, the use of POTS lines have gone down. We've seen it in residential and on the commercial spaces. In fire and security, there's been a big shift to cellular and radio mesh technology. And on the elevator side, we are now entering that phase as well. Also, beyond just POTS lines getting harder to find, they're obviously getting more expensive. We do a lot of tracking within our company of Kings 3 of major markets, and we see every year that costs continue to rise. With our data, we see on a traditional phone line costs of $125 or more, and we've seen bills as high as $1,200 per phone line, and I'm sure you guys have as well. So all this creates a very big incentive to get away for the customer from POTS lines. So one of the technologies out there is VoIP, voice over IP. So VoIP has become a major player in the telecom industry, particularly in commercial uses. VoIP allows you to make phone calls by converting your voice into digital signals, compressing it, sending it through an internet connection. So while potentially ideal for business and general telecommunications, there are challenges when trying to use voice over IP with emergency phone systems like the ones in your elevators. So While VoIP is great for maybe a business phone system, we do not really recommend VoIP for emergency communications. There are challenges with VoIP, with battery backup and also just reliability, the transmission of DTMF tones. So we've discovered elevator emergency phones that were left completely disconnected after a voice over IP migration. We've also seen, that we've seen a lot of times where businesses have converted their whole phone system and only after the fact realized that, maybe the VoIP is not the best for elevators. So you also got to worry about the battery backup with with the A17 code. We do have a 4-hour battery backup requirement. So every single part of that voice over IP system must be 4-hour battery backup. There's also issues sometimes with calling back into the elevator when you're on voice over IP. Some elevator phones do not automatically answer. And then sometimes voice over IP systems will not trip or trigger the phone line verification interface, which is the requirement for the 2010 code. So those are all things to think about before going to voice over IP. And what we usually find is there's not that many elevator companies or fire and security companies pitching VoIP. It's usually the building owner accidentally switching to VoIP out of just not really understanding that they need something a little bit more reliable. So usually a little bit of education to the customer will educate them to realize that for liability purposes, they should probably switch off of voice over IP. So really what makes cellular ideal? So cellular not only eliminates analog dependency, but it's also usually a much faster connection to the dispatch compared to either POTS or voice over IP. Known as a convergent technology, cellular refers to a network enabled by a complex two-way radio system, allowing mobile devices to communicate on small interconnected transmitters and receivers. So really, at Kings 3, at least, we're able to utilize, incredible infrastructures of cellular networks like AT&T and T-Mobile. We're really able to remotely monitor the performance of the elevator communicator. And with our backup battery and all the redundancies that we're able to do, we really think we're able to be above and beyond what a normal phone line and voice over IP system can do. Beyond that, cellular ultimately is very cost effective. If you're using the right cellular device, it's code compliant, easy to install, and like I said before, it's scalable. You're not investing in a ton of hardware, and you can really grow as your network grows, as your customer base grows, and you can start with a couple devices and grow up to a very big network, and you don't have to worry about maintaining your own network. So just to reinforce the cost effectiveness, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average cost of a single landline in an urban city has risen from around $105 in 2012 to around $140 in 2021. And then by comparison, cell phone services have fallen from around $60 a month in 2011 to around $50 a month in 2021. So as POTS lines increase, the cost for cellular has decreased. And it's just made it much more affordable. And at the same time, we've gone from 2G to 3G to 4G LTE. We have better signal strength, better networks. Cellular penetration into buildings is better. And all those things add up to just make an overwhelming case that cellular technology is really the right technology to choose. Also, code compliance, like I said before, when you switch off a POTS line and you go to voice over IP or other technologies, you got to really worry about that you're still meeting the strict A17 elevator code. So, I mean, at Kings 3, we've been doing elevator phones for over 30 years. So we really develop all of our cellular technology from pretty much to meet the elevator code. So all Kings 3 cellular technology for elevators meets the A17 code requirements, where alternative technologies often fail. And some of the key compliance factors that you want to compare is, like we said before, location identification, including cab number. That's a requirement. So, you know, we're able to use static phone numbers for the ability for call centers to use caller ID, have the ability to call back into the elevator, which makes the code requirements in some states very strict on that. So location identification, including cab number, phone line verification. Remember the alarm that has to, the supervision panel that has to alert people when the phone line fails. Simultaneous two-way communication. Okay, you got to be able to talk, and the operator has to be able to talk at the same time. And then the backup battery requirement, 4-hour minimum. With cellular, we're able to have a independent, dedicated backup battery for each cellular device. That makes it very simple for us to meet the 4-hour minimum. And it also makes it very simple to really supervise and remotely check on that battery backup to see how the battery's doing. Also, the ability to call back into the elevator cab with the elevator phone answering automatically. Okay, so if the call gets disrupted or the operator wants to call back into the elevator, cellular technology allows that, just like a POTS line. One of the other key points is, you know, easy to install. You know, really with converting a commercial elevator phone from a POTS line to cellular, you really want a device that you can drop in without having to go in and change a lot of hardware inside the elevator. So, you know, the cellular communicator that Kings 3 offers is designed to work with any elevator phone and utilizes the existing travel cable and 2-wire connection to bring cellular dial tone to the cab, and from a building's telephone or machine room. In most cases, it's not necessary to enter the elevator cab to make this transition. So that's kind of a key point, especially for fire and security companies. You know, a lot of times the cellular communication device that we're speaking of will be installed in the telephone room. And really, you don't need to ever go inside the elevator. The key is to just have a drop. This is a drop-in replacement to replace the phone line. So you're really just you're just eliminating the connection to the old phone line, and you're redirecting it to our cellular device, and usually reprogramming the communication system to hit your call center instead of where it's currently calling. Or you could also use our Kings 3 call center as well. Our cellular device was really designed for elevator technicians that don't have, you know, aren't used to using computers and telecommunication devices. So our cellular device is very simple to work on. You can get it pre-activated, so it's really plug and play. It's got 4 LED lights that tell you the status and 4 LED lights that tell you the signal. And otherwise, you can troubleshoot it just like a normal phone line. It has all the characteristics of a normal phone line. If you're a technical person, you can use a butt set or a multimeter. You'll still have the 50 volts DC and the same characteristics of dial tone. So really, it comes back to the big question: how can integrators take advantage of these trends? So I just want to reiterate the huge opportunity here to convert all these hundreds of thousands of elevators in the United States from POTS lines to cellular. So while you may already be generating a portion of RMR with monitoring fees, or you might have a customer where you're doing the fire alarm panel or security cameras, large telecom companies that provide analog line services have historically monetized the significant RMR potential with elevator phones and emergency phones when it comes to connectivity. That's just been the status quo for years and years and years. Building owner gets a phone line from the phone company. So life safety companies that have an emergency monitoring experience capabilities now have the opportunity to take advantage of the massive market potential in the elevator phone monitoring space created by this technology transition. So now, now the life safety companies, fire alarm and security companies have the ability for that building owner to pay you for providing the emergency phone line, in this case, a cellular communications path. So elevatorsource.com has the average price of monitoring at around $10. That would be the monitoring of the actual phone, and the average landline costs of $140. So if you think about that, the average building owner is paying about $150 a month between what they're paying for monitoring of the phone plus the phone line cost. So it's a big chunk of money that customer is paying that you can eliminate and transition them to cellular and get a lot of RMR for yourself. So at Kings 3, we have a device that is known as the Elevator Connect 1000, and we're on the 4G LTE version of that. So it's really 4G VoLTE technology. VoLTE will stand for Voice over LTE. And this is a design. This is one of many cellular devices that we have at Kings 3, but this cellular device is specifically designed for elevators and also designed to work on any elevator. So with the EC1000, as we call it, the Elevator Connect 1000, this will provide accurate and reliable location ID. With it included a battery backup for 10 hours. So that far exceeds the 4-hour requirement. And this device meets and exceeds the A17.1 elevator communication code. And the big selling point here is it's compatible with any existing elevator phone hardware. So that, this device will work on any elevator phone that's existing on commercial elevators. And then any elevator that meets the A17 2010 code and higher, this is also compliant. That will have the supervision panel. And our cellular device will trigger the line verification alarm system the minute that we are off the cell network. So if for any reason we lose reception, someone removes the SIM card, or we ultimately are not on the cell network, we will drop dial tone and trigger the third-party alarm. So currently, Kings 3, we have over 40,000 elevators and swimming pools on 4G communication systems nationwide. We see faster connection times with cellular when compared to traditional phone lines at our call center. And at least with our call center, these seconds can make a huge difference during emergencies, especially with swimming pool emergencies, where every second literally counts. But also in elevators, people get extremely panicked when they are stuck. And so a fast connection to a call center is very important. There's also a picture right there of the Elevator Connect 1000. As you can see, there's 4 LED lights on the top that kind of give you status, 4 LED lights on the bottom that give you signal strength. And then it's very simple to work on. You have a power input, an RJ11 input for the phone line, and an on-off switch. It also comes with a variety of antennas, whether it's a short stub antenna like that, or you can get remote antennas as well. Beyond cellular technology, Kings 3 designs, assembles, and supports our own emergency phone equipment here in the United States. All of the Kings 3 hardware that we make is ADA compliant and helps properties get their emergency communication systems up to code. You'll see some pictures of some of our elevator phones, swimming pool phones, Also our cellular device there in the background. All of our phones are easy to program. We have phones for pools, elevators, parking garages, school campuses, and much more. All of our phones are also A17 elevator code compliant, and all of our phones can be ordered directly through our dealer program here at Kings 3. And we've been making emergency phones, like I said before, for over 30 years. So some of our like emergency phones that you see there in the pictures have really stood the test of time. We also have an emergency dispatch center located in our headquarters in Dallas, Texas. So our call center is a little unique in that all we do is emergency voice calls. We don't monitor any kind of burglar alarms or fire alarms. We only do elevator phones, swimming pool phones, area of rescue communications, or just any general emergency voice communication. We record and store audio of every call, and we have the ability to actually translate over 170 languages. We also have automatic location ID. We currently monitor more than 70,000 emergency phones nationwide. And we really specialize in elevator entrapments. We probably monitor elevators in every single state, every type and model of phone. And at our call center, we monitor phones that are using both cellular technology and still connected to traditional legacy POTS lines. So just to give you a brief background on the dealer program here at Kings 3. Our company is over 30 years old, but our dealer program here is only about 3 years old. The dealer program here at Kings 3 is growing rapidly, and we're looking for more long-term partners who want to grow their business with Kings 3. The industry shift from POTS lines to cellular networks for emergency communications has opened up new RMR opportunities. We believe these opportunities are tremendous. I've been in the elevator industry for over 15 years, but specifically in the elevator phone part of the business for almost 12 years. And I've never been more bullish about just how much opportunity converting customers from traditional phone lines to cellular. So what does becoming a Kings 3 authorized dealer mean for you? Well, ultimately, you can eliminate your customers' dedicated phone lines, ultimately saving them money. That's a big value. And building owners now pay you for the dial tone and not the phone company. You're also, eliminating, in some cases, that phone company or that vendor completely from the job. And there's also a lot of buildings out there where the building owner has converted the fire panel and everything on the security side to cellular radio mesh already and away from POTS lines. So sometimes that elevator phone is the last POTS line on the building. So you can leverage Kings 3's technology to expand your product portfolio and ultimately grow RMR. You can grow revenues from your existing customers, eliminating creation costs. You can also use the cellular technology to gain brand new customers that want to eliminate the phone company. So take advantage of Kings 3's elevator code expertise. That's part of our dealer program. You have full access to all of our code experts. We have resources and we know the code in all 50 states. And we also have tremendous technical and sales support. We can train and help your sales teams with pre-sales and quotes. And then if your on-site techs need help with programming or activations, we have an incredible team here for our dealers. And obviously, you're also able to utilize our state-of-the-art emergency dispatch center if you want, or you could also use any third-party UL Central station to answer calls as well. So just to recap, Kings 3 solutions, We have reliable emergency phone hardware. We've been designing, assembling, and supporting our own phones since 1989. We make phones for elevators, pools, garages, stairwells, fitness centers, and campus security. We've always been leading in different technologies. We used to have line seizure technology, and also line consolidation technology in the past that has really separated us in the industry. And now, obviously, we have innovative cellular solutions. So now we have 4G LTE emergency phone solutions nationwide. Kings 3 currently monitors over 40,000 cellular emergency phones across the United States. We also just got access on some of our cellular devices to AT&T FirstNet. We also have state-of-the-art emergency dispatch center. We went over our call center capabilities. All of the Kings 3 operators are AEMD and Red Cross CPR certified and trained to handle a wide variety of emergency situations. We also went over the ability to translate up to 170 languages and our expertise on being able to handle emergencies within elevators, specifically people trapped in elevators. We're also emergency communication code experts. Myself and others at Kings 3 have involvement on the ASME, A17 code committees. We're always staying on top and helping shape the code changes. We're on top of all 50 states, what code they're using now, what code they're about to adopt. And we have plenty of resources that we share with our dealers. The dealer program, that's the program that we're talking about today. Kings 3 offers our technology to dealer partners to help increase their RMR and grow their customer base by utilizing our cellular solutions and robust emergency phone equipment. Our dealers can expand their product portfolio, and they have the ability to offer their customers cellular solutions that they can install and maintain themselves. We also have a partner program at Kings 3. Partner program, partners with several types of businesses ranging from elevator to pool companies with the goal of relieving them of the emergency phone headaches. This is a referral-based program for businesses that would rather not deal with emergency phones at all. So if you're a company out there that has customers that want to go cellular, but elevator phones or emergency phones is not a vertical that you feel comfortable with, you could also become a partner and refer that business to us and get a referral fee for that. And just to recap, my name is Tom Worthington, and again, I'm the Director of Dealer Sales here at Kings 3. And there's all my contact information. If you have any questions about our dealer program or any questions in general about the elevator phone code and how your specific state, what code they may be on, and any kind of questions at all, feel free to call me or email me anytime.
Awesome.
And thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Tom. Are we ready to move into the Q&A section?
Absolutely.
All right, good. So we had a few questions come in. I'm just pulling them up right now. All right, it looks like the first question we have here is, what if the building monitors emergency phones themselves with on-site security? Can your EC1000 device still be used?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think what the question is really getting at is some buildings, especially like high-rise buildings or any building that may have on-site security, it is common that the elevator phone never goes outside. The call never goes outside of the building, and they may have internal communications, and the call may just go to the front desk. In those cases, you can convert them to our Elevator Connect 1000 and get them to go to cellular and really direct them to a UL central station, whether it's our call center or any call center out there.
Awesome.
So yes, you can easily convert them, and it'll be no issue at all.
Great. All right. And then another question we have is, do these run on Verizon or AT&T? Are there choices?
Yeah, so on the Elevator Connect 1000, we utilize the AT&T IoT network. We can use T-Mobile as a backup, or as if they order it specifically. Right now, we do not have any access to the Verizon network, so we have those two options.
Great. All right, pulling up another one. All right, it says, this seems like a service that elevator companies would be providing. Why don't they all do it?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and something to understand. It's really a weird dynamic within the elevator industry, but most elevator companies don't provide cellular solutions. It just has never been part of their business model. Just the thought of providing the communications path has always been foreign to most elevator companies. It's always been a building responsibility. And a lot of elevator companies don't even provide elevator phone monitoring. And if you think about it, that's really how a lot of fire and fire alarm and security companies have entered the elevator phone monitoring space in the past. In the past, building owners have asked them because the elevator company doesn't provide it. So because there is a lack of supply from the elevator companies, building owners are usually left not knowing that there's really even cellular solutions out there. So and that's kind of why we talked about having such a big opportunity with 90% of the elevators out there still connected to traditional phone lines. There's just a huge ability to convert these elevators to cellular.
All right, great. And then another question is, what is the opportunity for the security dealer / company? Is it to work with Kings 3 or do this separately with our own monitoring company? Thank you. And then after that, they continued with saying, I understand the entire market in the USA is about 1.1 million elevators. How does this equate to, or what does this equate to an attainable RMR?
Yeah, so I mean, what the main thing for fire and security and integration companies to think about is just, just from an RMR standpoint, the ability to come in and eliminate that phone line for your customer, have them pay you for that phone line. I think what the question was getting at is, with 1.1 million elevators out there, really what we're trying to paint the picture of is, probably 900,000 or more of those elevators are still connected to traditional phone lines. And over the next 5 years to 10 years, we think that's going to be dramatically a huge migration to cellular. So, companies out there I think with our technology, they're able to install, maintain it themselves, and offer their customers the ability to go cellular in a code compliant fashion. And our dealer partners are able to get that recurring revenue every month in their pocket. And their customers are able to get rid of the phone company and the phone line, and usually, in most cases, save a lot of money. So as far as what kind of RMR capabilities, I think, different business models range, but you can easily get north of $60 a month when you bundle together cellular, the cellular technology and the monitoring of the elevator phone. And I think the questioner also asked about, do they have to use our call center or can they use any call center? And the short answer to that is, with our cellular technology, the Elevator Connect 1000, you can use any call center out there. And currently almost every call center out there is receiving calls on our EC 1000. And at the same time, you can also use our call center. It's an optional add-on.
Great. All right, another question we have is, does your monitoring center allow operators to monitor from their homes, off-site operators?
Well, I am not the expert of our call center, but to my knowledge, no, we don't. All of our operators are right in our EDC is right in our headquarters, and we don't have any operators that answer calls from home.
Gotcha. All right. Another question we have is, can we get a copy of this PowerPoint program?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll kind of add to that. The video recording will be provided to you tomorrow via email, so you'll have this recording to refer back to for your attendance today. Additionally, our list will be given to Tom, and they will probably be doing some outreach and including their PowerPoint slides if they choose to. All right. Another question we have is, will you have another webinar that discusses the video monitoring aspect that comes into effect, equipment available from Kings 3?
Yeah, so I think that question refers to the new 2019 elevator code that introduces video and two-way text messages into the code requirements. So we do have recorded, we have separate webinars that we can send out, maybe Hannah, and maybe on our website. But just for the people watching this video, just keep in mind that the 2019 code is still a brand new code, and only a very, very small percentage of elevators out there will meet this code currently. It will be a code that you're going to hit more and more coming up, depending on the state you're in. Kings 3 is always on the cutting edge. We do have solutions, and if you do come across a job, either now or in the short term, feel free to reach out to me directly, and we can help out with any video or two-way text messaging job as well. But I'm sure down the road we will have maybe down the road with ESA, Hannah, we'll have a webinar going more in the depth on the 2019 video code.
Yeah, we'd be happy to host that. All right, checking for other questions. Here's one. What is the commitment when becoming a dealer?
Great question. So right now we don't have any quotas or commitments, stuff like that. We do have a dealer agreement that outlines our partnership, but really, we're looking for companies out there that looking for long-term partnerships. You don't have to come out and do 100 units in your first year, but we do want long-term partnership. So we think if you become a dealer, it's going to be a win-win for both of us, and you're going to stick with us the whole time.
Great. Another question we have is, when becoming a dealer, do you have any marketing material that we can use?
Yep, absolutely. We have a full marketing department here at Kings 3, and they help us out all the time in the dealer program. We can help. We have marketing materials, and we can also help your marketing team as well with email blasts or any kind of marketing materials that you guys may need.
Great. All right, just a few more questions that we have here. How does the cellular connection get into the elevator cab, and is it reliable?
Great question. Yeah, it is. First question is yes, very reliable. The cellular communicator would typically be installed outside of the elevator shaft, outside of the elevator room, typically in a fixed location like the telephone room, for instance, and you're utilizing the same two-wire connection to bring that dial tone to the phone in the elevator. So without getting too technical, every elevator phone out there is pretty much an analog type technology, and it's still, so we have to deliver the same type of dial tone to it so it can work.
Great. Another question we have is, how do your dealers get trained on how to install and set up your device?
So yeah, we have full support. We have videos, we have manuals, we can do technical specific onboard training for technicians and technical teams through webinars. We utilize Microsoft Teams at Kings 3, but we can also do Zoom calls and even at times we can do on-site training as well. But just keep in mind I mentioned in the video that the Elevator Connect 1000 was designed for elevator technicians. So it's a very simple cellular device to install, and you can actually order it pre-activated, where it's pretty much plug and play. You have 4 LED lights for status, 4 LED lights for signal strength, and it can be troubleshot from a technical standpoint, just like a normal phone line, using a butt set or a handset and a multimeter. So usually for fire alarm technicians, security technicians, the cellular device is pretty simple to install. Usually our tech support is the biggest value we bring on technical support is usually by helping the technician reprogram the emergency phones.
All right, great. So that's actually all the questions I have currently. So we only have about 4 minutes left. So I'll leave it up to you, Tom, if you think that we've covered everything you wanted to cover today and we can close it out, or if you want to give a few more minutes to allow for any other questions that may come through.
That's great, and I appreciate it, Hannah. Thanks for hosting. I had a tremendous time. And just the last thing I'll say, I'll just make the one last bullish case for just how much opportunity is out there in the elevator phone market. Depending on the state that your company resides in, there could just be so much market share opportunity that is available, so much recurring revenue that can be heading your way. So if you have any questions at all, whether it's technical, code related, to go over the business model, reach out to me, give me a call, send me an email. I'd be happy to talk.
That's great. And actually, while you were talking just now, we had one more question come through. So I'll just let you get to it before we close out. It says, what is the time frame your tech support is available? Is it Central Time or Pacific Time?
So our headquarters are in Dallas, Texas. So everything's Central Time, and usually it would be 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Central Time.
Great.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for your questions and your time here today. And thank you, Tom, for your presentation. It was very educational. As always, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to Tom. His contact information is right there on the screen. And if you'd like to learn more about ESA membership and its benefits for your company, feel free to schedule a quick discovery call at our website, esaweb.org. Thanks for joining us today and have a good one.
All right, thanks.